Hello everyone. Today we're going to make cornbread dressing. And I have already cooked my cornbread and crumbled it up. I've made some turkey broth because that's what I like in my dressing. So I got some turkey wings and I boiled them. And we've got our stock for that. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. But right now, I've got a little bit of margarine in the plate or in the skillet. I use margarine just for the simple fact that butter is too expensive. So this is just basically to give my vegetables something so they can get translucent. I guess you could put olive oil in there instead of this margarine, but this is what I'm going to use today for mine. So I have already processed celery. I like mine chopped up a little bit finer than most people. That way when they're eating it, they don't know what they're eating. They just know it's flavored good. This is bell pepper. And this is onion. There's some regular onions. And then I had a bunch of green onions that I also put in there. The green onions give your dressing a little bit more flavor. So I used 6 packages of cornbread mix for this recipe I'm going to use or make. I do not use Jiffy. It is too sweet for your cornbread. I do add sugar at the end, but Jiffy is too sweet if you make that cornbread and try and make dressing out of it. So try and use anything else besides Jiffy. I also make my cornbread with buttermilk and follow the package directions. When it's done and cooled off, we crumble it up. We're going to get this cooked down, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so while this continues to cook, I only want it al dente. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way through. This is just to wake up the flavors, and so when you bake it in the oven, you don't want your dressing to have a crunch. So we get those vegetables almost done. And while this is finishing up over here, I'm going to show you what we do for our next step. Okay, so this is my cornbread that I cooked. And as I told you before, it was 6 packs and follow the package directions. Now I have about 6 slices of bread that I'm just going to break up in here. It doesn't have to be tiny pieces. It'll break up as you stir it. This makes your dressing fluffier, or gives it a better texture. So we'll get this in here, and then I'm going to show you, I use sage and poultry seasoning, and I use more poultry seasoning than sage. If you use all sage, your dressing turns green, and it also has a bitter taste. The poultry seasoning is a better balance for you. And then at the end, depending on what my broth tastes like over here, we might have to add a little bit of chicken base, but if it needs salt, we will adjust it with the base. There's no salt because of all the sodium in the chicken broth, well, the turkey broth, and then the chicken base if I need some more flavor. So what I did, I took 2 turkey wings and I boiled them down just so I can have some stock. This is actually my dressing for Thanksgiving. And I'm going to prepare just a small pan so you can see. And the rest of this will go in the freezer today uncooked. But I wanted everybody to see how I do my dressing. And we're going to get this together here. So this is my turkey broth. I like to save a little bit of it for gravy, so I have the same seasoning. So then for the rest of the liquid that I need in here, we're going to add water. I add water. If you were doing the chicken base or chicken stock, then you would add chicken stock. But I add water, and then I'm going to use my powder. So it's the same thing as adding chicken stock. But the cornbread drinks up a lot of liquid. So far, that's 4 cups plus all the liquid I added in there. Then our vegetables are about ready, so we're going to dump those in. I start stirring this. We're going to go ahead and I put a generous amount of poultry seasoning. Then we're going to go in with probably about 3 tablespoons of sage, and then we'll come back to that if I need some more. The secret to cooking or having it right, you always have to taste it. You have to taste it, have to taste it. So I got some eggs sitting there, and I will not put those eggs until I make sure I have my seasoning and my salt level right. And then we add the eggs at the end. I won't eat raw eggs, I'm sorry. So we're going to start mixing this and see what it's looking like. If you were baking a whole turkey, you would have your broth from the turkey. The way the price of turkeys are this year, I'm not sure that we're going to have a turkey. So I found a pack of turkey wings that were marked down from $12 to $6. It was 2 big turkey wings. And I boiled them, and that's how I got my stock. And actually, when I boiled them, I put celery and onions. I guess you could have put a few carrots if you'd like. Make a mess. So once I get this all incorporated here, we're going to take a taste and start figuring out where the salt level is and what we need to do. All right, it tastes good, but it needs a little bit of salt, so we're going to add the chicken base. That's what I'm using in place of salt. I might want just a little bit more water in here. I hope you guys are already planning your Thanksgiving dinner. Already started purchasing your items. Don't wait till the last minute. Some things will be out of stock, hard to get. Say find me, or it'll be so high you don't want to buy it. I'm going to add just a little bit more poultry seasoning. And maybe 2 tablespoons of sugar. The sugar is not to make it sweet. It just balances out the flavor. Uh-oh. I'm having problems stirring, Sherry. So, once I get this all incorporated and make sure I got everything the way I want it, then we're going to add these eggs. That works for me. In go the eggs. This is about the consistency you want. You don't want it any looser than that, and you don't want it any drier or stiffer than this because your dressing will be dry. There you have it. Cornbread dressing.